Next is another way we're going to show honor to our culture. As you've noticed, all around us are beautiful displays from our Choctaw artists. One of those artists is a flute player from McCurtain County. Prescot Byington makes his own flutes and he's learned to play them. And he has agreed to come out to Center Circle and play his flute for us. Would you please welcome Prescot Byington?
I thought I was a little further on down the schedule, so I was back there running my chops. I always like whenever these guys are out here dancing, it always brings back to mind back whenever I was a very young man. Whenever we started dancing as children, we got a couple of artists back here, Jerry and Shirley Lohman. They were our chanters whenever I was a young man. From what we understand is that we didn't have Choctaw dancing in the state of Oklahoma until the late 60s, early 70s. And it took the initiative of a young Presbyterian preacher to go forth and do what he had to do to get Choctaw dancing, because Christianity and native dancing didn't go together at that particular time. But he went against the grain and found out that Choctaws did dance. And what he did was that he come back home and he found out amongst his church that there was a large amount of money that was set aside for cultural activities. And what he done was he put in a grant for this money. And what he did whenever he got this grant was he rounded up a lot of our tribal elders and a lot of the children of the churches and took them back to Mississippi to learn all these dances, the songs and the chants that comes along with it. And like I said, and Jerry and Shirley were our chanters. Those were the ones who went and spent time with Prentice Jackson, Tony Bell, Henry Joe, Ida Mae Frazier, and some of them others. Those were the elders of Book Chitto District in Mississippi that taught us to dance. And so what I'm saying is that I was one of those children from that time that helped to bring Choctaw dancing to the state of Oklahoma, and this here's what we've brought it to today. And I was explaining to them yesterday that we went through a lot to get it to where it is today. Because like I was telling them yesterday, whenever we were in Mississippi, we would go into town to do our laundry and get supplies and things like that. And there in Philadelphia, they asked us, so what are y'all doing here? So, well, we come to town to get supplies and do our laundry and stuff. And they said, are y'all Choctaw? I said, yeah. I said, we're Choctaw. They said, well, you must not be from here then, are you? I said, no. I said, well, Choctaws don't come into town except on Saturdays. So that's the only time that y'all are allowed to come to town to do your business here, and then you go back to the reservation. So like what I'm saying is you know that to get it to where it is today, we went through a lot to get it here. And now we have some of our younger ones who are here, and we are dancing in the nation's capital. So I'd like for you guys to, for those that were out here dancing, and we like to stay with our history. And I'm one of those guys who can stand out here and rattle all day long because I'm a history buff. And but anyway, this little contraption right here is what we call a Native American courting flute. And the Choctaws had a flute, but it only had 2 holes in it. And those were primarily used by our healers and our holy men. And they weren't usually meant for entertainment. They were for healing and for prayers and things like that. And this is one of the things that we adapted once we got moved into the state of Oklahoma. And I have some of them old Choctaw flutes, but I don't make them to sell or to give away or anything like that there. They belong to a sacred people amongst our people. So anyway, let's see what we can get out of this thing right here. And then I believe they're going to let old Tim Tingle come up here. And he's got a story or two for you guys. So anyway, let's see what we can get out of this thing. I like kind of like the way that the sound is inside this building. If y'all ever get a chance, y'all go up there to that 4th floor. I believe there's a dome up there. Got some beautiful sound in there. But anyway, like the sound so much, I think I'm gonna do one more just for giggles, if y'all don't mind. Thank you.
Thank you, Presley. That was absolutely beautiful. And it does sound beautiful in this wonderful museum.